You are listening to WTUZ Radio Podcast. Welcome to WTUZ Radio Podcast. I am your host, Rhonda. And today's topic, we are going to get into the violence against women on the planet. And specifically, it will also go over violence of melanated women, aka Black women, across the planet. And we will go into specifically whom is doing violence against women on the planet. Okay, so I shouldn't have to do a disclaimer on why I am doing this, but just to be clear on why I am doing this, there is very, very, very little focus on the violence against melanated, aka Black women. Okay, there's very little focus at all on melanated Black women. Okay, that's regardless if it's violence, that's regardless of women being in poverty, that's regardless of the fact of the high number of trafficking that it's women of color / Black women are subjected to, the high incarceration numbers of Black women and the reasons why those numbers are high. There is no collective protest among the quote Black melanated community in regards to the suppression of women. Okay? And with the suppression of women comes the suppression of children. And this is especially the case in melanated communities because women are leading the households. Not by choice, but by force. So, I hope that is crystal clear on why this is being a topic of discussion. So we are going to use as the main source the United Nations. And this is the Office on Drugs and Crime. Home, the most dangerous place for women, with majority of female homicide victims worldwide killed by partners or families. UNODC study says. Okay, and this came out in 2018. November 25th, around 87,000 women were killed around the world last year. Some 50,000 or 58% at the hand of intimate partners or family members. So might as well round it up to 60%. This amounts to some 6 women being killed every hour by people they know, according to new research published by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. The study, released for the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, examines available homicide data to analyze the gender-related killing of women and girls with a specific focus on intimate partner and family-related homicide and how this relates to the status and roles of women in society and the domestic sphere. So those that rock with me know I am an advocate of healthy families. Those that rock with me know I am advocate of selecting your partners wisely. And when you select those partners, make sure it is in the best, and I'm speaking specifically to women. When you are selecting a partner, a man partner, Your accountability as a woman is to pick the best partner that is in benefit for yourself, your children, and your future children. This is why I take the stance that I do. When I speak to melanated men, aka Black men, about leadership and what it is really about, it all centers around family and your ability to protect, provide, and be builders. Okay? So if we can't get the foundation of our families together, we are kidding each other. All right? Okay. So, while the vast majority of homicide victims are men, women continue to pay the highest price as a result of gender inequality, discrimination, and negative stereotypes. They are also the most likely to be taken out by intimate partners and families, said the United Nations of Drug and Crimes. I think it's of Drug and Crimes. Yes, Drug and Crimes. Executive Director Yuri Fedotov. Targeted criminal justice responses are needed to prevent gender-related killings. UNODC is releasing this research for the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women 2018 to increase understanding and inform action. Looking at the rate of female victims of homicide by intimate partners or family members, the study found that the global rate was around 1.3 victims per 100,000 female population. In terms of geographical distribution, Africa and the Americas are the regions where women are most at risk of being taken out by intimate partners or family members. In Africa, the rate was around 3.1 victims per 100,000 female population, while the rate in the Americas was 1.6 victims. In Oceania, 1.3, and in Asia, 0.9. The lowest rate was found in Europe with 0.7 victims per 1,000 female population. Okay? So those of you, RBG, with your fist in the air, talking about how the motherland did this and how much melanated people, aka Black people, were so much better off. Better off for whom? Because based on every type of study that we look at, Africa is no better. Now, here in this study, they have the highest rate of domestic violence. According to the study, tangible progress in protecting and saving the lives of female victims of intimate partner/family-related homicide has not been made in recent years, despite legislation and programs developed to eradicate violence against women. The conclusions highlight the need for effective crime prevention and criminal justice responses to violence against women that promote victim safety and empowerment while ensuring offender accountability. The study also calls for greater coordination between police and the justice system, as well as health and social services, and emphasizes the importance of involving men in the solution, including through early education. Okay, so we're going to get into this study. So again, this is the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, and this was coming out in 2018. So let me pull the actual study. All right, and let me make sure it's still, all right, I just want to make sure you all can still see this. Right, so this is the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. The Global Study on Homicide, Gender-Related Killing of Women and Girls. This was 2018. Okay, let's go down. Homicide represents the most extreme form of violence against women, a lethal act on a continuum of gender-based discrimination and abuse. As this research shows, gender-related killings of women and girls remain a grave problem across regions in countries rich and poor. While the vast majority of homicide victims are men killed by strangers, women are far more likely to die at the hands of someone they know. Okay, so I think we read this part, but I'll read it again. Women killed by intimate partners or family members account for 58% of all female homicides, victims reported globally last year, and little progress has been made in preventing such murders. Targeted responses are clearly needed. This booklet, part of the forthcoming global study on homicide by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, is being released on the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, 2018, to raise awareness, increase understanding, and inform actions. It is also a call for governments to help us shed further light on these challenges by collecting the needed data and reporting on all forms of gender-based violence. The UNODC remains committed to supporting member states to strengthen evidence-based policies and criminal justice responses that can prevent and end violence against women and gender-related killings. All right, so let's and we're probably going to have to do this in installments, so it'll be in, let's just see how far we're going to get. I'm going to have to break this up because I do want to get through this study. Scope of the study. This study gives an overview of the scope of gender-related killings of women and girls. It provides in-depth analysis of killings perpetuated within the family sphere and examine forms of gender-related killings perpetuated outside the family sphere, such as the taking out of women in conflict and the taking out of women sex workers. The study explores the scale of intimate partner/family relating killings of women and girls and describe different forms of gender-relating taking out of women. It also looks at the characteristics of the perpetrators of intimate partner killings, the link between lethal and non-lethal violence against women, and the criminal justice response. The ability of data on intimate partner/family-related homicide means that such killings of women are analyzed in greater depth than any other form of femicide, and that the analysis focuses on how women and girls are affected by certain norms, harmful traditional practices, and stereotypical gender roles. Although other forms of gender-relating killings of women and girls are described, such as female infanticide and the killing of indigenous or aboriginal women, given severe limitations in terms of data availability, only literature-based evidence is provided. So just to make it clear, when they talk about female infanticide, we know that in India and in parts of Asia, specifically China, remember they were placing more value on the birth of boys than of girls. So specifically, I can't speak for India, but we know with China, they had the one-child policy, and therefore the male child was favored over the woman or the baby girl. So fast forward a couple generations, and in that midst, a lot of little girls were taken out. Okay, so that's what they're talking about the infanticide. Now, fast forward, now India and China, both in Asia, has a shortage of women. All right? Okay. The data presented in this study are based on homicide statistics produced by national statistical systems in which the relationship between the victim and the perpetrator or the motive is reported. While the disaggregation of homicide data at country levels has improved over the years, regional and global estimates are based on a limited number of countries, with Africa and Asia accounting for the most gaps. Now, that doesn't surprise me, counting for the most gaps of not providing this doggone data. Because they already know the data that was provided, Africa had the highest level of homicide with women. Okay, I already just described how Asia, over a couple of generations, were valuing male babies over female babies, or little boy babies over little girl babies. So it doesn't surprise me that they're not getting all of the data back. All right. Introduction to the concept of gender-related killings of women and girls. The focus of this study is on the killing of women and girls as a result of gender norms. Among the many documents that draw attention to the alarming proportion reached by this phenomenon in all its different manifestations, the 2013 United Nations General Assembly resolution on taking action against gender-related killing of women and girls is noteworthy. Some national governments, international organizations, academics, and advocates of women's rights use the term femicide to refer to this problem. The notion of gender-related killings or femicide requires an understanding of which acts are gender-related, something that is subject to a certain degree of interpretation. For example, in many cases, there is a continuum of intimate partner violence that accumulates in the killing of women, even when perpetrators have no specific misogynistic motives. Okay? Nevertheless, some aspects of gender-related killing of women are indisputable. One being that this type of homicide is a part of female homicide, yet not all female homicides are gender-related. Therefore, only a specific, if considerable, share can be labeled gender-related killings of women and girls, i.e. femicide. Okay, so they're just pretty much trying to tell you they have taken into account. So as they're about to go over these numbers, they have taken into account the homicide numbers that are not related to gender specific. Gender-related killing of women and girls are committed in a variety of contexts and through different mechanisms. In broader terms, such killings can be divided into those perpetuated within the family and those perpetuated outside the family sphere. Data availability at regional and global level show that the vast majority of cases of this type of crimes fall into the first category. So what's that first category? Within the family. Gender-related killing of women and girls is analyzed in this study using the indicator for intimate partner/family-related homicide. This provides a concept that covers most gender-related killings of women, is comparable, and can be aggregated at global level. Other existing national data labeled as femicide are not comparable, as countries use different legal definitions of this concept when collecting data. Where data are available, however, it is clear that intimate partner/family-related homicide covers most of the killings categorized as femicide and is a good fit for analyzing trends in the latter. UNODC collects data from member states on intimate partner/family-related homicide as a proxy for gender-related killings of women and the broad concept evolving around the notion of femicide. This indicator covers female victims of homicide perpetuated by current or former intimate partners or other family members. Okay, so again, they're just giving you the definition of what femicide is. General sex disaggregated homicide data are collected through regular UNODC data collection on crime. Using the framework of the International Classification of Crime for statistical purposes, homicide data can be categorized and analyzed to define gender-related killings and quantify intimate partner/family-related homicide. While the majority of international homicide victims are male, the majority of victims of intimate partner/family-related homicide are women. Therefore, understanding the extent and patterns of the killing of women and girls require the dedicated analysis of intimate partner/family-related homicide explored in this study. So, before we get into the study, just want to once again stress what the purpose of this is. It is to, why I'm doing this. It is to directly put a spotlight on femicide. Okay? And I am talking about femicide worldwide. I am talking about femicide among melanated, aka Black women. Because what we hear about in the United States, what we're calling the United States before, it's all about the homicide rate of the men. Okay? Very little attention is paid to the homicide/femicide of Black women. And see, if we want to talk about strengthening the community, this, and that, you can't talk about one without the other. And in my opinion, the reason femicide is not talked about, because that is specifically getting into the family dynamics, which means that is something that can be controlled, which means that is something that we are doing to each other, meaning melanated folks, meaning melanated men against melanated women. In my opinion, that is why Black woman femicide is not talked about in the community. And the reason why male homicides is talked about, because we can link that to police brutality, which folks can link that to the Caucasian system, i.e. white supremacy, and also black men on black men homicide, which a lot of the quote, quote, black community collective don't even want to admit that. But nonetheless, the homicide rates of black men are always discussed, with the legislation being built around that. But meanwhile, the femicide is brushed up under the rug and not talked about. So let's continue. Key findings. A total of 87,000 women were internationally killed in 2017. More than half of them, 58%, 50,000 were killed by intimate partners or family members, meaning that 137 women across the world are killed by members of their own family every day. More than a third, 30,000 of the women internationally killed in 2017 were killed by their current or former intimate partner, someone they would normally expect to trust. Based on the revised data, the estimated number of women killed by intimate partners or family members in 2012 was 48,000, 47% of all female homicide victims. The annual number of female deaths worldwide resulting from intimate partner/family related homicide, therefore, seems to be on the increase. Yeah. Obviously it is. If it was 47% in 2012 and by 2018 it jumped up to 58%. The largest numbers, 20,000 of all women killed worldwide by intimate partners or family members in 2017 was in Asia, followed by Africa, the Americas, Europe, and Oceania. However, with an intimate partner/family related homicide rate of 3.1 per 100,000 female population, Africa is the region where women run the greatest risk of being killed by their intimate partner or family members. So let me run that for the slow red, black, and green in the back. You say, what now? About Africa? While Europe, 0.7%, 100,000 population, is the region where the risk is lowest. So Americas, you're in third place. So you have no room to talk either. The intimate partner/family related homicide rate was also high in the Americas in 2017 at 1.6 per 100,000 female population, as well as Oceania at 1.3 and Asia at 0.9. Okay, so here, this graph is just showing you, even though the largest number of women and girls are killed by intimate partners or family members in Asia, they run the greatest risk of being killed by an intimate partner or family member in Africa. Africa was also the region with the highest rate of females killed purely by intimate partners in 2017, 1.7 per 100,000 female population. The Americas had the second highest rate. So out of that femicide number, because remember the femicide number, femicide means the killing of women by their partner or family members. So This part, they're just dealing with the intimate partner. Africa was the first, and America was the second. The global rate of female total homicide in 2017 was estimated to be 2.3 per 100,000 female population. The global female intimate partner / family-related homicide rate was 1.3, while the female intimate partner homicide rate was estimated at 0.8 per 100,000 female population. More than 2/3 of all women, 69% killed in Africa in 2017, were killed by intimate partners or family members, while more than a third, 38% of women, were killed by intimate partners or family members in Europe. Oceania accounts for the largest share of all regions in terms of women killed exclusively by intimate partners at 42%, while Europeans account for the lowest at 29%. Okay, so this is, I guess they just mixed in intimate and family members in Europe. I'm sorry, and family members. So they put them both. Only 1 out of every 5 homicides at global level is perpetuated by an intimate partner or family member, yet women and girls make up the majority of those deaths. Victim / perpetuator disaggregation reveal a large disparity in the shares attributed to male and female victims of homicides committed by intimate partners or family members. 36% males versus 64% female victims. Okay, so there's the numbers for any of you that want to come back with, well, men get taken out also by their partners. Yeah, we know that. But here's the numbers. 36% versus 64%. Women also bear the greatest burden in terms of intimate partner violence. The disparities between the shares of male and female victims of homicide perpetuated exclusively by an intimate partner is substantially larger than of victims of homicide perpetuated by intimate partner or family members. Roughly 82% of female victims versus 18% of male victims. So here's a graph. Although women and girls account for a far smaller share of total homicide than men, they bear by far the greatest burden of intimate / partner family related homicide and intimate partner homicides. So in other words, men, y'all taking each other out at much higher rates. Women's numbers are lower than your numbers, but the reasons for the homicides are different. Because your homicides are largely you taking each other out. And out of that, 36% is of partner violence. So meaning your partner, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, at a rate of 36% are taking you out. Whereas with women, the total violence, the majority of the violence, it's 58% by partner. And actually, I have to take that back because it's saying intimate partner family related homicide for women, 64%. For men, 36%. Total homicide for men, 80%. For women, 20%. So once you break these numbers down even more, intimate partner family-related homicide for men, only 36%. For women, 64%. Intimate partner homicide, 18%. For women, 82%. So in other words, a majority of the time when women are taken out, it's by an intimate partner. These findings show that even though men are the principal victims of homicide globally, women continue to bear the heaviest burden of lethal victimization, and as a result of gender stereotypes and inequality. Many of the victims of femicide are killed by their current and former partners, but they are also killed by fathers, brothers, mothers, sisters, and other family members because of their role and status as women. The death of those killed by intimate partners does not usually result from random or spontaneous acts, but rather from the accumulation of prior gender-related violence. Jealousy and fear of abandonment are among the motives. That's deep. That's real deep. Though the indicator, female victims of homicide perpetuated by intimate partners or family members, this study quantifies a significant share of all gender-related killings of women and girls perpetuated globally, including forms that are prevalent across certain regions, such as dowry and honor killings. Given the lack of data, it is not possible to quantify the number of gender-related killings outside the family, but the study describes their different manifestations and provides example where information is available. The information available shows that other than gender-related killings in conflict settings, gender-related killings of women and girls outside the family are relatively rare in comparison to the killings perpetuated by intimate partners or other family members. So once again, it is telling you where the majority of women being taken out, it's not even through war, because we can chalk conflict up into war. It's based on family killings. Countries have taken action to address violence against women and gender-related killings in different ways by adopting legal changes, early interventions, and multi-agency efforts, as well as creating special units and implementing training in the criminal justice systems. Countries in Latin America have adopted legislations that criminalizes femicide as a specific offense in their penal codes. Yet there are no signs of a decrease in the number of gender-related killings of women and girls. This study highlights what more can be done to prevent those killings. A more comprehensive range of coordinated services needs to be provided by police, criminal justice systems, health, and social services. Moreover, in order to prevent and tackle gender-related killing of women and girls, men need to be involved in the effort to combat intimate partner violence / related family homicide, and in changing cultural norms that move away from violent masculinity and gender-specific stereotypes. So we are going to stop here, and then we're going to pick back up with the scale of the issue. I do want to finish out this particular study so we can go through it in its entirety. And I want this to be another awareness tool and for women an educational tool of how important it is for you to look at things for the way they really are. Okay? As you are raising young girls and even young boys. Men, I want you to look at this information for what it is. Not the way you want it to be. Not the way it specifically fits into your lifetime. I want you to look at it for the way it is. And understand what your role is. Because what we suffer from are cultural norms. In the collective, aka Black community, we are suffering from sick cultural norms of the role of men and the treatment of women and children. Okay, so we're going to come back next time. It'll probably take us 2 more to go through this study. We're going to pick back up with going a little bit into more details with some numbers on the femicide issue. Okay, so now remember, this is a worldwide issue. And just to refresh folks' memory, Africa is leading. Africa is leading with femicide, meaning violence against partners, men against women. America, you third, Asia next, then the Americas. Okay? All right, so again, this is coming from the UN's, sorry, I don't mean to make you all dizzy. This is coming from the United Nations 2018 study on femicide. All right, so I hope you find this information of some use. We're going to finish this off probably in 2 more episodes. I want to get through this study in its entirety. Thank you for listening. This is Rhonda with WTUZ Radio Podcast. If you are not subscribed to us, I highly encourage you to subscribe, like, and share. I wish everyone well on this Wednesday. Peace and love.
What?